So I just watched part of this on CNN. It's on Jake Tapper on CNN, and they're talking about a new book that's come out. I think the person who wrote it's like Alex Thompson or something like that from Axios. Anyhow, they talk about how George Clooney and other people, like, they did hundreds of interviews with people. George Clooney had a special fundraiser with Joe Biden. I think it was on like June 15th or something like that. It was a couple of weeks before the debate. And Joe Biden didn't recognize him. And Jake Tapper is like talking about it on the show, and he's literally like saying, "Oh, you know, George, right? George Clooney." And it wasn't just like the staff that was like alarmed, it was Obama. Obama was there. All those people were there and saw that he didn't remember who George Clooney was. I don't know how many years he's known George Clooney. Like, what? You don't recognize him anymore? They talked about his decline, about how he needed a wheelchair. They were trying to conceal his like problems walking because he had like a problem with his gait. They would have like shorter walks for him and stuff like that. This is really shocking. I think there's something in the New Yorker about it as well. But recently they talk about what led to George Clooney coming out and saying, I don't think that he should run again. Like up here, it says it wasn't a straight line of a decline. He had good days and bad, but until the last day of his presidency, Biden and those in his innermost circle refused to admit, what was wrong with him. It's pretty shocking. And I've seen on CNN, they talk about it at like round tables about how they were deceived by the Democratic Party, that basically Kamala Harris could have run earlier, or any other person could have run earlier. They could have decided to pick somebody else to be the Democratic candidate, and who knows what would have happened. But because they picked Joe Biden, it was like, look, they just threw away their chances of winning. That's what they're trying to kind of say here too. So just really shocking what's being revealed in this book. And I kind of believe what they're saying, just because, especially since like last week was the first time that Joe Biden actually came out and started talking again about anything. He stopped talking about anything. He talked about how Kamala Harris was facing discrimination because she was a woman and because she's like of African descent and stuff like that. So yeah, just really, really interesting. But it's kind of weird to hear them say this out loud, that he was in such bad decline, and to know that they knew. They knew if he's not able to recognize somebody like George Clooney, who he probably knew for years and